Hello, my friends and family, my my football family. I apologize. I had to take a phone call. It was business, and I apologize. So I'm redoing the video. We'll just go right from the beginning. Um, the first comment was about why is Green Bay going down, and I don't see an injury uh, that's causing it. Maybe a Washington players returning, but like I said, I still liked Green Bay down to 7.5 was good. So no, I deeply apologize for cutting it short. Now we'll go as long as you like. Please feel free to ask questions and comments. I've got 4 college locks going on Saturday. I just love these plays. It's just the lock is determined by my probability and outcome of what will happen in the game. And I'm looking at these. I got live dogs. I've got favorites that are under favored. In other words, it should be 10-point favorites to 3. And they're like, okay, fine. I got to take that. So that's why so many locks. Some weeks I might not have any. I don't make a lock to make a lock. I do make a lock because I feel strongly about it. I think one lock's 21 unit, the other is 17. And then the beauty is then you can play a 4-team teaser with the 4 locks. You can add a few pro teams to it that I really like that I might lock, but at this point, pros are getting a little bit more confusing. So if you want to play a big teaser, this is a good week where there's 4 big college games. Plus I have other big college games that I didn't lock, as well as a couple of pro games. So let's look at it. Let's quickly go down the line. Cleveland tonight, 1.5, 40. The whole Cleveland team's injured. So basically, this is where there's no such thing as next man up. Next man up is, I don't know where they get that from. It's not real life. I mean, if Tom Brady goes out, next man up is Tom Brady is as good as Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers goes out. You want Jordan Love? You're going to bet on him? I don't think so. So that's what happens. It's not next man up. Next man up, yeah, your guard, one of your defensive tackles. Not next man up for Lawrence Taylor or Jerry Rice or Aaron Donald. Not next man up for him. And you just hope you're in a good scheme. Anyway, so let's go through. So Cleveland 1.5, 40. Baltimore 6.5, 46.5. Carolina laying 3, 43. Green Bay's down to 7.5, 48.5. KC 4.5, 57. Atlanta 2.5, 47.5. New England 7, 42.5. Rams 15, 50. Oakland 3, 48. Tampa Bay 12, 47, I believe. Arizona 17.5, 47.5. San Francisco 4, 44. And New Orleans -4.5, 43. Let's look at team versus team. Cincinnati, Baltimore, they play each other. So there's a pretty common. I got Baltimore winning the last 5. Now, why is that important? Well, because it shows when Baltimore plays Cincinnati that they feel comfortable. They beat them. Cincinnati's got that in the back of my mind. Oh, my God, we don't beat Baltimore. What do we do? So it ends up where you have that kind of stuff going. So I like to keep going with the streak. In other words, if you're playing roulette and red comes up 10 times in a row, the next bet is red, not black, because you can only lose the red bet once. You can use the black bet, you can lose another 10 times. It could come up red 30 times in a row. You don't know if it will, but it could. And if it does, you've lost 30 because you're going, it's due, it's due, it's due. There's no such thing as it's due. A guy in a batting slump is not due to get a hit. A guy who's bowling 10 strikes in a row is not due to miss. There's no such thing. The averages do bend in, but when you're in the middle of the streak, you don't fuck with the streak. So red comes up 10 times, and you pass by a roulette wheel, and it's, let's say, 7 reds in a row. Walk up, put a $20 bet on red, and you either lose the 20, but theoretically, because it's hot, you should win it, and then keep betting red until black hits. And so you 25, and then you make it maybe a $50 bet, and then you keep it at 50 for a few spins. And then when black finally hits, you lose the 50, but you've won the 25 and the 3 or 4 other 50s. Or maybe it's 10 more 50s. St. Louis won 17 games in a row in baseball. So it's not like it's good. Oh, it's 8. That's it. It's done. They're due to lose. And you would have lost 9 more games. Instead, you just keep playing them. You win at 13. You win at 14, 15, 16, 17. They finally lose. Okay, I lost that one bet. Now I'm off of it. But I won 8, 9 bets in a row waiting, watching the streak. So you definitely play streaks. You don't bet against streaks. You can't win betting against them because you don't know when they're going to end. That's why you bet with them. So, again, that's why I like Baltimore. They've won the last 5. Now, what's different? Well, Baltimore, okay, they got Le'Veon Bell now. They got Jackson, so that's consistent. Cincinnati now has Burrow and Chase, so a little bit of difference. How big is Burrow over Andy Dalton? Better, but at this stage, probably equal. And then Chase, and you had A.J. Green. So is it really that much difference that now Burrow and Chase is there? A little bit, but we'll see what happens. But I still like Baltimore from an even standpoint that they've won the last 5. Not a lot of these matchups. New England and the Jets. Okay, New England's won the last 10. You got New England laying 7. You cut them to 1. Your odds on winning are very, very strong because New England beats them. Now, Mac Jones from Alabama is looking better as a quarterback. They gave Dallas all they want. They're at home. The Jets are terrible. It's funny. I look at the Jets injury report. It's a bunch of questionables, and I honestly don't know. I don't know any of the names. The only guy I know is the quarterback, Zach Wilson from BYU, but I don't know when they have all these guys. I don't even know who they are. So anyway, again, New England's the play there. Yeah, Brady's not there anymore, but he wasn't there last year, and they still beat him with Cam Newton. And I'm not afraid of Zach Wilson. So there's a New England trend. And that's really it. There's only 2 games that are divisional games. And you get that because some reason at the end, the last 2 weeks are all divisional games. And it's really hard because if a team's clinched, they don't play their players. You can't really look at it and go, oh, well, that's part of the trend. Look, they won. Well, no, they didn't play their guys. So I think Miami beat New England one year. New England was resting their guys, or Brady played a half or something. So you can't really take that into consideration. But these games now, everybody plays to win, so you do take that into consideration. Let's go into any over or unders that I like. Well, when I look at it, Baltimore's Cincy. Baltimore's an A, Cincy's a B. So it's 46.5. That means I can go to 40 or 52. I kind of like the over in the game because I think that Lamar Jackson scores. I think Chase. I don't think what happened to San Diego is going to happen to Cincinnati, where Baltimore really suffocated them. Cincinnati can run, and Chase is good, and good luck stopping Burrow. So I don't think it's like the San Diego game, but 40 points is not a lot. Lamar Jackson, but both are pretty good teams. So I'm betting on 40. Probably should be no problem to get there in the NFL. 2 teams getting 20s. You figure to get. Let's see. Kansas City, Tennessee. Both teams are over. Both teams have extremely weak defenses. Tennessee's really all Henry running. It's not much from Tannehill. KC, we know, is KC. Over under a 57. You can go over 51, which means you need somebody in the 30s. With these weak defenses, I see KC winning the game. I don't see Buffalo. Josh Allen's no Mahomes, and you can see why. But I don't see KC losing the game. As far as over 51, That's 30-21. I can easily see KC in the 30s. They're starting to score. They put 31 up on Washington last week. So that's where you got Washington only getting 13, but Tennessee should score more. So again, KC really still has their back against the wall. They're not in first place. They're only a game behind, but they're getting behind in all the playoff and all the wild cards. So they have to win. They beat Washington. The Buffalo game was just the Buffalo game, but here they got Tennessee. They should be able to win the game, but I do like it over. I do think Tennessee will score with the big running back. God, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, they should be able to score a lot with the running with Henry. So they should be able to score a lot with Henry, especially close. They won't be able to stop him. KC doesn't have that type of defense, so this should definitely be a high scoring game, as everybody figures. But I think it's worth 51. I see it. Atlanta, Miami. Now, here's where it gets difficult. Atlanta's a W team, and Miami, as we know, is a Z team. And with Tug Tagovailoa, it's a bunch of 5-yard passes. He doesn't score a lot of points. That's why they're a Z team, and their defense sucks this year. So you're not going to score a lot, and you're going to give up a lot. Atlanta doesn't score a lot and gives up a lot too. They just do a little bit less. So you got two weak defenses. Matt Ryan should start scoring, but he's struggling without Julio Jones. They don't really have a running attack. And then they got Tony from Florida, who they got to work into it. So we got to see. It's going to take him a while, but I honestly have no feel for the game. It'll probably be, if the over-under is 47.5, probably go over, because when you get two weak defenses, you figure out ways to score. So I can see that happening. But again, it's a tough. I don't like the play. I don't like the over/under. It's hard to bet W and Z teams. That's why you like strong against weak. Let's see, the Jets in New England. New England's pretty much an under team, but getting better. And then the Jets. Let's see, what was the final on? Let's look at the New England-Dallas game. 35-29, but that was overtime, so it was 29. So they're scoring. So New England's not as much of an under team lately as they've been, because you had to break in Jones. So he's getting better. They're scoring more. The Jets are a Z, no offense, no defense. So will it go over? Well, in this type of game, New England should score a lot, but I don't know the Jets will score. New England's got a good defense. Dallas putting up 35 in overtime is Dallas. The Jets don't have that. They don't have the running. They don't have the quarterback. They don't have the receivers. They don't have the offense to really score a lot. So a lot of the forecasting I'm doing, it's dependent on what type of team they're playing. So here, New England and the Jets are a weak team. They're not going to score on New England. Where Dallas scored a lot on New England. So that's what you have to look at. So I look at the Jets not scoring a lot. So I like actually New England in the game. And then 42 is an over-under. It's a real hard call, because if you're 42, you can go over 36. So you're looking for a 21 to 17 game. Are you going to get 17 from the Jets? They might not score at all. How much are you going to get from New England? Now, New England could win the game 28-0, 31-0. And you're way under. You didn't hit your 36. You didn't hit your 48 or your 36. So maybe the play here is under 48.5 versus over 36.5. But really hard to tell with the Jets. You figure they're not going to score much. Detroit and LA. LA's an A team. Detroit's a Z team. Even with Goff, they don't have receivers. I like their running back, Swift. These running backs from Georgia are pretty good. You can't look at Detroit as their backs are against the wall. They're just terrible. They're not going to win. However, LA backs against the wall. Yeah, they do need to win, because they're a game behind Arizona, and they are at home. They are playing the Lions, and Stafford, I'm sure, wants to give them a message. 15 is a little bit high to play down to 9, even though they could easily win 34-0. But the way the Lions play, you never know what team's going to get in. They go for it on 4th and 10 at their own 20-yard line. I mean, this is one of the worst coach teams I've ever seen. But what do you expect when you keep hiring coaches with no experience? Will the Rams? They won't pull Stafford, but he's a little injured, so he might pull himself, in the fourth quarter. They shouldn't settle for a lot of field goals here. They should be able to get touchdowns against this weak secondary. The Rams defense, I don't know. The line, I mean, they looked bad against Indy, and New England did something, but it was their offense. How motivated are the Rams to kick ass in this game? That's the problem. They're going to be relaxed. It's the Lions. They're laughing. Easy win. So they're laying, 15. Do I lay 9? Now, over-under of 50 is intriguing to me, going over 44. Because when I look at the game, well, I know the Rams, okay, they're a pretty high-scoring team. They're going to get at least 30 on Detroit. And I guarantee you Stafford makes them definitely pay for it. So give them 30. What are the Lions going to do? Are they going to score it all? Well, LA doesn't have that great defense. What did they do last week? Did LA play? Yeah, they played to the Giants 38-11. It's a 49. I would expect the same thing there. The Giants scored a late touchdown. I think Detroit scores a little bit more than the Giants. I can see the 38, maybe 14 or 17. The Lions seem to get this late touchdown in the last 2 minutes when it doesn't mean anything. So I can see the Lions maybe getting a 10, LA probably a high 30s or low 40s. So it should get you to 44. I think that's the smart play in this game is the 44 because I think Detroit can score a little, but the Rams should score a lot. And again, do you want to lay 9 in the NFL? I'm always a little bit intrepid. And then you got Detroit, who no matter what, will fuck you over. If you take them, they lose. If you bet against them, you bet over, they go under. The worst team I've ever seen. So to lay 9 should be good, but 44 I think is a better play. Oakland 3 over Philadelphia 40. I think that's 49 over under. Let me check. Oakland. Yeah, 49. I was right. So Oakland at 49. Against Philly, I got both teams even, so they both score mid-20s and give up mid-20s. An A or B, I'm not taking this call. An A or B, I apologize for taking the last call, but it was very, very important. Just a second. 239. What 239? I don't know what that is. So they're both E teams, means they both score in the 20s. To get to a B team, you start having like an 8 or 9 differentiation. So you got like a B team would be you score 29, you give up 22, right? So you got different. You score more. An A team, you score like 32 and you give up 20, or you give up 18. Those are the real A's. And then the W's, you score like 20 and give up 28. So the evens, I don't know what to call them. They score 25 and give up 25. They're not really B's. They're not really W's. And so I'm just trying to okay, now I know in my mind what they are. So Philly, Jalen Hurts, who knows? They're running a college offense, for Christ's sake. Oakland, I don't know. They're now without Gruden, they look better. He scored a lot on Denver. So what this tells me, they score a lot on Denver. Philly has a decent defense. Oakland should score on them. Hurts is going to run around. He'll get some points. 49. I guess you can play Philly in 9. You can play over 43. Those are my thoughts, but I don't know really what to do with it. I don't have a lot of confidence in Philly. The play here is Philadelphia. Oakland's kind of a weak home favorite. Chicago, Tampa 12, 47. Chicago's the A team. Chicago. Tampa's the A team. Chicago's really an under team, especially with Fields. Good defense, Khalil Mack. Terrible offense. Here's how I look at it. Tampa laying 12. I don't mind playing Tampa -6. I think they'll have no problem scoring on the Bears, even with their defense. But Fields, good luck to him. I know Tampa's got a lot of injuries, but I can't count on Fields scoring more than 7 points. So Tampa will get at least in the 20s. Then you look at the over-under of 47, and you go, what do I do with it? It's hard to play the Bears over because of that defense, and they're going to run and with Fields. So they're more of an under team. So I can't really go over 41 in this. I got to look at it. It's going to be Tampa scoring 30 points, Chicago with 7. So I think you lay the 6 in the game, I think is the better way to play it. Arizona, 17.5, 18 over Houston, over under 47.5. Which Mills is it? The New England Mills or the Mills from last week against Indianapolis? That is the question. Arizona, they score a ton. Houston's a Z team. I mean, just no defense, little offense, no quarterback. Shocked that New England couldn't handle Mills. That just shocked me. But here, Arizona, they're not a good home favorite. Houston's a pretty good road dog. So what do you do with this game? It's just, I had it as 14. It's just so many points. How do you lay 11.5 in the NFL? If the real Mills shows up, Arizona should put up, okay, let's look at the score. Arizona 35, Houston maybe 14 somewhere. And that's a 21-point win and you're laying 17. So I don't see much more than that. Arizona will put they'll start running. In the NFL, you start running with the 21-point lead, you're running the ball. And then Houston's going to throw and go for it on 4th down. And, so it's a very high number. Over under 47.5 is hard to play because Arizona could score in the 30s, but Houston might not give you anything because Mills can get shut out. Last week was 31-3. So that's my point, right? So that what should have been an over in the Indy game turns into an under because Houston doesn't do their share of an over. An over, you need 2 good quarterbacks. You don't have it here. This is almost an Arizona play, but it's such a large number. I'm just going to watch. I don't find it's just over. It seems like a sucker bet, right? 17.5, and we want action on Houston, but I don't know who can bet Mills. Frisco 4 over Indy. Both teams are even, and over under 44. Indy with Wentz, he's starting to get better. Frisco with Garoppolo, they just don't score a lot. Their defense is average. The only way to play this game is take Indy plus the 10. I don't over under. I honestly don't. I think it should go over, but there's so many injuries on Frisco, and Wentz is starting to look good. You get 10. That's a good value getting 10. New Orleans 4.5 over Seattle without Russell Wilson, and you got Geno Smith, and you got so many injuries, and you got a weak defense. New Orleans very strong defensively, and with Winston, they're not really lighting it. It's not Drew Brees. They're going to light up and put a 40 up. I'd say this game will be 24-7, 24-10. So I think it's an under 49. You can't. How do you play Seattle in 10.5? They're a good home dog with Russell Wilson. He's gone. Geno Smith didn't do much Monday night against Pittsburgh. He's got great receivers, so hopefully he starts working them in more. I wouldn't play New Orleans here again. Geno Smith, but they've got Coach Pete, and what he did against Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson's on the sidelines with plays and helping Geno Smith. I just don't think Seattle is like the Lions. I don't think they're that bad. It's not Mills. Geno Smith's like Tyrod Taylor, but he hasn't played in a while, but he knows how to play. So he'll get more and more comfortable. But I think the only way to play this game's under. New Orleans, good defense. They're not going to score a lot with Winston. Seattle is probably going to run the ball. They're not going to score a lot. When you get teams running the ball, if they don't have Henry, they're not. It's going to shorten the game and rest their defense. Those are underplays. So I think I covered most of that. So tonight I have no feel at all. Cleveland 1.5 over Denver. So many injuries. It seems like it's Denver and 7.5, but I don't really love Denver. They're an under team. The receivers are out, Judy and Hamler, which makes it real tough to think Denver's going to score. The over-under got knocked down to 40. It's a game I don't want to play because I hate the Thursday night games. You start out losing, and then you're already like, I'm already in a hole, and I don't love the game. I think initially Cleveland was 5. I knew Mayfield was hurt. I would have played Denver in 11. I'm not sure I like Denver in 7.5. I don't mind what's the Cleveland quarterback, the guy from Houston. I'll think of it. I don't mind him. He did win the Super Bowl, I believe. So I think Cleveland's fine. I don't know Denver with the injuries. They got killed. Oakland beat them 34-24. So I would say over initially, but without Mayfield, it's hard to go over in the game. But the line's been already shot down to 40. It's really hard to sit there and go, well, I'm going to go under 46. Seems logical. If you have to play, then I would say that's the only play in this game is under 46. But otherwise, not. So if I go through Carolina and the Giants, Carolina's an under. The Giants are a W. Over under 43. Jones will play. Barkley's out. So they're getting a little bit of help. How is Carolina? Well, they're an under team, but let's look at them last week against Minnesota. They really should have lost 28-20. So 34 again is an overtime score. So 28 they give up. So their defense isn't as strong as you thought it would be. The Giants, I don't know. They scored 30 on Washington, and then they come back with a big 3 points on the Rams. So, or they got 11 on the Rams. Who scored 3? Or Houston got 3. So the Giants got 11 on the Rams on a late touchdown. I don't know. Carolina's defense, they can blitz. They'll get after Jones. They did good against Philadelphia. I can't take the Giants as a road favorite. I don't like Darnell at all. So he throws too many interceptions and he wants to scramble all the time. He fades back and in 2 seconds, I'm going to run around left end for 10 yards. Okay, I'm sure your receivers love you. The Giants, they're passing the ball a little bit better, but this is a game I can't trust the Giants in 9. And this is the problem in the league, all the W teams. So if we look at W teams and Z teams this week, you got the Giants, you got Washington, you got Atlanta, you got Miami, you got the Jets, you got Detroit, you got Houston. What the hell is going on in this league? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 7 W and Z teams. What the hell? And you can't bet any of them. All you can do is bet against them. So when you got a good team, like the Rams against the Giants, okay, you can take the Rams. That's what you're looking for. Even New England against the Jets. New England's not really an under team because they're starting to score with Mac Jones. So they're giving you more of I'm going to score 28 and I'm going to give you 18. So they're becoming more of a B team. The numbers have to sort itself out. The Rams and Detroit, Arizona, and Houston, that's what we're looking for. Those are more live betting against the weak teams. But that's what you're looking for. The question is, will the Z's play as Z's? We saw New England, Houston, where Houston lit them up and almost won. And then we see Kansas City losing. So, I mean, you get, although they lost to San Diego, so you get some of that inconsistency, and that's really the problem. Let's go through some stats. This is class. And if you have any comments, guys, just please ask. I will answer your questions. So now I'm going to the stats, the meat of the decision. In other words, you've got to say, why am I betting this today? So let's look at Baltimore, Cincinnati. Baltimore puts up 28, gives up 21. Cincinnati scores 25, gives up 19. With Jackson, he throws for 280. They only run for 150, which is mostly Jackson. They get 436. And then you got Cincinnati, who Burrow throws for 258, but they don't run the ball. They only run for 106, so they get 364. So you can see it's 70 yards different. I'm adding a new sacks. How many sacks do they get? I got KC with 18. I got Cincinnati with 40. So they both get after the quarterback. And so I think that's an important stat. Is if you look at that's why Kansas City, they've only got 7. Who's got 8? Jacksonville's only got 8. But then you look at Minnesota's got 21, and you got 18 for Cleveland and 21 for the Bears. So you can see the defensive teams get the sacks. And, what is it? Jacksonville, they give up 29 a game because they're only getting 8. They're only getting 8 sacks a game. So you can't put pressure on the quarterback. He's got all day. He's going to eat you alive. So why would I bet this game? Well, this is on the history of Baltimore winning the last 5. So that's one reason. Baltimore's a little bit better. Not a lot better. This is fairly even. Baltimore's a little bit better, but they've been playing well. They killed San Diego, and I just, so it's hard to, let's take Cincinnati in 12.5 in a series that Baltimore dominates. So you've got to ask the question of why. Why am I doing it? So when we look at, let's go through the best offenses, the top 10. Dallas 34, Buffalo 34, Tampa 33, Arizona 32, KC 31, the Rams 30, Baltimore and Tennessee 28, Cleveland, New Orleans, San Diego, Cincinnati, Oakland, and Minnie all tied at 25. So you can see the teams that are better, they score a lot. That's one reason you want to bet them. That's why. So do we want to bet Arizona against Houston? Well, Arizona puts up 32. So now I look at the over-under of 47. I need 41. Well, I'm going to probably get in the 30s just from Arizona. The question will be, will Arizona keep score? Same thing, Buffalo, Kansas City, of course. The problem with Kansas City is their defense is not, so they're not an A or a B team. They're just an over team that scores a lot but gives up a lot. So let's look at that Kansas City-Tennessee game. You got KC scoring 31, giving up 29. You got Tennessee scoring 28, giving up 27. So there's no defense on the field, but yet they both can score. Tennessee puts up, they get 250 yards passing and 160 running. That's the NFL. In college, they'd be getting 250 running. So they get 410. They got 13 sacks. Kansas City, Mahomes gets 315, and they still run for 125. Now, Chocolatey clears out, but they got their backup, 440, but they only get 7 sacks. That's why their defense is weak. They're not getting the sacks. So that's why this is a good overplay. That's why. So that's what you're looking at. So let's look at the Green Bay-Washington game. I really like that game. So Green Bay-Washington. Green Bay scores 24, gives up 23. Pretty good defense. And again, the 24 is based on the not scoring against New Orleans. So as we get more games, that fades away. Them only getting 3 on New Orleans because that was the first week. So we really want to discount it because of training camp. So they're probably a 28-23, probably a 28-21 because they gave up 30 there. So you got Rodgers getting 250 a game, 110 running. So they're pretty balanced, 360, 14 sacks. And we go down to Washington. Now, here's the problem. They scored 23. They give up 31. Henneke, 234. Rodgers was 250. So not much difference in offense. Green Bay's got 360. Here they got 340. And they do have 12 sacks because they got the good line. But they can't stop anybody against a good quarterback like Rodgers. He'll dump the ball away quickly and look for him to score a lot. So that's the reason right there in a nutshell is why you like Green Bay, right? They score, they got Rodgers against a weak defense in Washington. They do get some sacks because of Chase Young and those guys, but more or less, Rodgers gets rid of the ball before they're going to sack him. He can read the blitz, where like Jacksonville can't read the blitz, and Tagliabue. A lot of these quarterbacks are new; they don't know how to read the blitz, so therefore Washington can get to him. But against Rodgers, he's going to light him up for at least 30 points. Washington won't. It'll be like the KC game last week, right? 31-13, probably right around there. KC's got a worse defense than Green Bay, so that should help them out. So again, that's why you're betting them. That's what you're looking at. Why am I betting the game? And that's why. So let's go to the last statistics, which are the actual psychology of the teams. So when we look at 2021, we're now getting a new hand, right? So if we look at trends, Minnesota is 6-0 in 2021. So they're getting better than they were in 2020, just more comfortable with each other. I'm just going to talk about the 6-0 teams: Dallas, Arizona, Cincinnati, Baltimore's 5-1, the loss at Oakland, and that's it. Going against 6-0 Miami, Jacksonville, that's quarterback play, Washington, Atlanta's 5-0, Frisco's 5-0, and Detroit's 6-0. So right there, it's telling you what's going on against the number. So that's what you're really looking for. Is who do I bet on? Well, let's see. These guys suck, so I'm going to bet against them. So in Arizona, Houston, Arizona 6-0 against the number this year, and Houston is 5-1 against. They had a home dog. They covered. I think did they win? I don't know if they won, but they covered. So on the road, they're 3-0 against. So that's a nice 6-0 versus 5-0. But there's not enough. Here's what I talk about. There's not enough information to really get into, home favorite, home dog. So I'm going to go back to 20. So now I got 6 weeks of 21 and 16 or up to 19 weeks of 20. So now I can start looking at, okay, who do we like? So let's see what we got. Detroit 7-2 against as a road dog, 86% against, 19-3. Tampa Bay's 81% with Brady now. This is all Brady, 21-5. They got them home favorite to the Bears. They're 7-2 as a home favorite, and the Bears are 6-5 against. The Bears are pretty decent, but not with Fields. So you got Fields numbers. So again, the dichotomy changes. You got the new quarterback. So that's why it's hard to look at the Bears as much as, well, I know Tom Brady's 7-2 at home. And they're 81% overall. What do we got? We got Frisco as a home favorite. They're 7-0 against. That really makes the Indy game look good. Indy as a road dog is 4-1 and a 4-1 against. So that's where the trend wise, the personality is Indy's a good road dog and Frisco sucks as a home favorite. So you can't play Frisco. They're 1-6 as a home favorite. So this is all San Francisco. This is all Indianapolis. All bet against Frisco. The Rams are, well, now they got Stafford. They're 5-3 as a home favorite. Doesn't show much. New Orleans 6-3 as a road favorite at Seattle, but again, Seattle doesn't have Russell Wilson. I can't use any of their numbers. Atlanta at Miami. Atlanta's only been a road favorite once. Miami as a home dog is 4-1 with and 4-1 against. They look terrible this year, so I'm not betting on Tagliabue. I can't bet Atlanta because they stink, but not much there. Carolina as a road favorite is, again, 1-0. Doesn't mean anything. The Giants as a home dog are 4-5 as a home dog, 7-2 against, 18-4 against. So this would be a Carolina trend. If you trust Carolina enough to play them as a road favorite, the Giants are terrible home dog and terrible against. Philadelphia as a road dog is 7-1. There you go. So Philly's a good road dog. They get mad when they travel. And who are they playing? Oakland. And Oakland is 2-2 as a home favorite, 3-1 against. So this is a good Philly play. You got a 7-1 road dog. And that means they're going to Dallas, they're going to the Giants, they're going to whoever, decent teams. They'll play. Well, they played KC and lost, but they played them competitively. So this is a real good spot for Philly. This is where that according to this. Washington is what? They're a road dog to Green Bay. They're 5-3 as a road dog, nothing special. Green Bay 9-3, little edge to Green Bay using this theory. Dallas is off. Arizona. Now here's where I can't jump on Arizona. They're 5-3 as a home favorite, 7-1 against, 2-0 against. So they're 9-1 against as at home. And you got them against who are they playing? Houston. So Houston is a road dog, is 6-2, 8-0 against, 19-3 against, and you got Mills. So this is a case where you've got two doubles going. You bet against Arizona at 7-1. You bet against Houston at 8-0. So you can probably bet against both. Houston's 19-3 against. So that leads you to take Arizona. And the question is, you got to lay 11.5. Are they going to win 35-0? And that's very difficult in the NFL to do that. Remember, all the players on Houston are pros. Even Mills, even though he shouldn't be there, is still a pro. He's no Deshaun Watson. But that's what you look at is Houston. All their linemen are pros. Their running backs and receivers are pros. So you can't just say Houston is like Rice or Houston is like, Toledo or Eastern Michigan or something. So they're not a MAC team, although they're pretty in the NFL. They're pretty close to a MAC team. So this is where it gets a little bit difficult. Do I lay all that points? But according to this, you can definitely bet against Houston. The Jets. Well, let's see. Where was I? So the Cincinnati Baltimore game, Cincinnati's 7-3 is a road dog. Baltimore's 8-2 against. Baltimore 7-3 is a home favorite. So they're not great as a home favorite. They're pretty good. Cincinnati's they played fairly well as a road dog. So again, you go to the history. Baltimore's won the last 5. You're laying 6.5. You cut it to a half. All Baltimore has to do is win at home. They're rolling from the San Diego game. So, yeah, I think Baltimore should win the game. Tennessee is a home dog to Kansas City. They're 3-1 as a home dog, nothing special. But we love KC as a road favorite. 10-1 as a road favorite, 91% the last 2 years. So this is why you would take Kansas City to win, even with their defense a little hurt. The key is Mahomes playing? Is Tyreek Hill playing? Is Kelsey playing? The linemen should be okay. I mean, that's really – they're starting to roll, and their backs are against the wall. Against Tennessee, who's okay. I mean, they're 9-3 at home and 9-3 against. They're just not – they're a running team that plays, weak defense. They won't be able to keep up with KC, I feel, and KC should take advantage of the weak defense. So that's another look at that. Cleveland again without Mayfield. They're 7-3 as a home favorite. Doesn't do much. Denver is 7-1 as a road dog. So there you go. Denver's a good road dog. Even I don't mind Bridgewater, but they don't have their receivers, so it makes it difficult. Again, they gave up 34 to the Raiders last week, but Cleveland doesn't. If Mayfield's in, then it's a Cleveland bet. They're going to score, but I can't use Case Keenum. I knew I'd remember the name. I can't. Case Keenum, he's good. I don't mind Case Keenum. I liked him at Houston. He obviously won the Super Bowl at Philly, but I can't. He hasn't played. All of a sudden, is he going to light it up? But definitely a case. But Denver. It should be a competitive game where you could take Denver on this 7-1 as a road dog, and Cleveland with the injuries. But it's like I said, it's probably more of a low-scoring game. Jacksonville is just terrible. 19-3 against. Who are they playing? Or they're off. Jacksonville's off, so it's a note for next week. They're 19-3 against. Miami home dog, 4-1 is a home dog both ways. Buffalo's off. New England's only 4-3 as a home favorite with Cam Newton mostly. So now you got Jones, and they're starting to play better. Indy, as we said, is a road dog. We've already talked about 4-1. Houston. The Jets are at New England. So New England, we just said the Jets as a road dog are 6-5, 10-1 against, 18-3 against. This is all New England here. New England's won the last 10. The Jets are a terrible road dog. They're a great bet against. That's it. This is what you're looking for. New England with Jones is playing. They play Dallas well. Even if they're behind, they can come back like they showed against Houston. Belichick should eat up Wilson. This is all New England here. This is what you're looking for. Let's see. Where are we at? Oakland. Denver, San Diego's off, and Seattle was never a home dog. They're 0-1 as a home dog. That was the loss to the Rams. Again, New Orleans, 6-3 is real favorite. So you can't really trust that. Let's go back to 19 just to take one last look of just simple, strong trends. So if we look at 19 teams just overall to bet on, Baltimore is 78%, Buffalo 83, which went down because they lost. And that's what you notice too. They were 86, now they lost, they're 83. And then what you notice is, does it go down to 80? So even though 80 is good, but it's on the way down. So I mentally note that. Bet against San Diego, 84%. Bet against Houston, 80%. Jacksonville 79, Cincinnati 79, but of course Burrow's there. They're starting to turn the corner. The Giants at 79 and Detroit at 87. Detroit. So Detroit's 33-5 against, 12-3 as a road dog against. The Rams are still only 9-5 going back to 19. So the Rams are not a team that at home they blow you out. They've always been kind of, now that was with Goff in 19 and 20. So you can see what Goff gives you. Now with Stafford, they're getting better. They blew out Tampa. They're starting to get the feel with Stafford. So, yeah, I see this as a pretty big win and a little revenge on Detroit, playing there. So you got a team with a weak road dog and 33-5 against, and I don't see any reason they're going to really be much more competitive in this game. Give them their 14 points, give the Rams their 35, 38. So it's definitely an over 44. And do you want to lay 9? The Lions will fuck you. They'll lose by 8 with a going for 2-point conversion with 4 seconds left to cut it to 8 or something. But definitely a Rams play, definitely an overplay. But this is why. Let me see any other big trends that would help us. Green Bay's 16-5 now if you go back one more year, which makes them a lot better play. The Bears, not much as a road dog. Tampa, now this is without Brady, can't use. The Ram, New Orleans. New Orleans 10-3 is a road favorite, but now you're bringing Drew Brees into it. Carolina, nothing. Philly 9-3 is a road dog. Washington, Dallas, Arizona. Arizona's just not. They're not a good home team. They're 16-2 against as a home favorite and a home dog. It's just really hard to understand. Cincy 15-3 against as a road dog. Miami 10-2 against as a home dog. Indy 10-2 as a road dog. Houston 13-3 against as a road dog. The Jets 14-3 against as a road dog. So now you see the consistency, right? Even though you've had new quarterbacks at the Jets, it's the same Jets basically. So, 1 year there might have been lucky, but now when you go out 3 years and they're 14-3 against as a road dog, they're just bad on the road as a dog. So in other words, when they play a good team on the road, they don't beat them and they maybe lose close, but not close enough. And here you just want them to lose against New England, which again, there's no Tom Brady, but Jones is looking good. And I feel more comfortable betting on Jones than I would Lawrence, Tagliabue, Wilson, Lance, any of these other guys. San Diego's off. KC 17-2 is a road favorite. There you go. That's that's what you want. That's all Mahomes. 17-2 is a road favorite. They just won last week at Washington, and now you got them at Tennessee. Again, a weak defensive team. They beat them in the playoffs pretty bad, so they know how to defend Henry. So KC gets, they're even a better play, even though we like the over in the game. Now you might like Tennessee even better. So let me see. My family, any questions, comments? So that's basically it. So we'll run down. We like Baltimore. They won the last 5. We like Green Bay. Washington's a W. We like Kansas City and the over. We can't even watch the Atlanta-Miami game. We like New England because they won the last 10, and they are the Jets are a terrible road dog. We like LA because the Lions suck on the road. We like Philly as a dog. Chicago, Tampa is not really, a little bit of Tampa, but it's a high number, 12. I don't get excited. Laying 6 to the Bears, I don't get excited even with Brady. Arizona is just, it's a good play, but it's just so many points. See, most of the trends I just gave you are in a normal, they're laying usually under 10. Once in a while, there's these 15s, but most of those trends are you're laying 10, you're laying 9, so you're laying 1 or 2 or 3, or you're getting usually more than 10. So when you're the Jets and the Lions and you're a bad road dog in a teaser now, all my trends are teasers. You're talking about them getting at least probably 13 points most of the time. Like here, they're not getting 3 very often. They're getting 7. Detroit at Green Bay at Minnesota are probably getting 7, maybe 8, 9 points. So they're getting more than 2 touchdowns and they're not covering. So it's not, so 15 is a little bit more. Now you're getting 21 if they don't cover this. But that's what you're looking for in a teaser trend. That's why I do the teaser trends, because that's what you're going to do here. Let's see. So Philly's a good road dog. Tampa a little bit much. Arizona a little bit much. Indy, very live dog here. Frisco's a terrible home favorite. And Seattle, New Orleans, the only way you can bet this game is under, because I believe Seattle will run the ball. Geno Smith's just not ready, although they'll probably start opening it up, but it ain't Russell Wilson. And a lot of Russell Wilson's big plays, he's scrambling around, but Lamar Jackson, he's not running. He's scrambling to throw. And then he throws these 40-yard touchdowns to Metcalf. And, they're just, beautiful plays, but not something Geno Smith's going to do. He's not going to run around and look to throw a 40-yard pass to Metcalf. Not going to happen. So I don't see that. So it looks like Russell Wilson's looking for big plays. Geno Smith's not going to have. He's very strong defensively. So I just don't see 43-49. That's the play. I don't see how you can take Seattle in 10.5, but New Orleans won't score that much either with Winston. Figure him for 2-3 interceptions. So again, last thought, injuries. We know the whole Cleveland team's out tonight, and we know the receivers for Denver's out. Baltimore, Cincy are fairly healthy. None of the key players. Giants, Barkley's out, and I think the other receiver from Detroit's out. Carolina, McCaffrey, we'll see. Again, he's like questionable with the hamstring for 2 months, so we'll see. Washington, you got Heineke, Green Bay. Adam Jones is questionable with the ankle, but he's been playing, so I assume he's playing as long as Rodgers is playing. And Adams is playing, you're fine. Kansas City, Chocolate Eclair, we know is out with the knee. Hill's got questionable, but he played last week with the same questionable quad. So it's funny, on one side it's a quad, on the other side it's a knee. Anyway, he was out there playing, so I look for him to play. Henry and Tannehill will be there for Tennessee. Tennessee's got so many injuries. They got backups all over the place, which is why their defense sucks. KC, they got their injuries too. But again, Mahomes and Hill and Kelsey are playing. That's all you need to know. Looks like Tagovailoa is going to play, which makes Atlanta more inviting. I didn't get to Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee. Julio Jones again has a hamstring, and again he's questionable. It's funny how last week he was probable because it was Monday Night TV, and Julio Jones is playing. The hamstring's fixed, but now we're back to a Sunday game, and I think it might be the Sunday night game. But now he's questionable with the hamstring again that he's had for 5 years. So, again, you don't know with Julio Jones. That makes the over better. If he plays, you probably really want the over, but I still like Kansas City. I just think it'll be higher scoring. The Jets don't have anybody to be worried about injury-wise. New England, they don't. I know White's out, but you're just betting on Jones in the defense. Detroit, they don't have talent to have anybody be injured that you care about. Swift, the running back, is questionable, but I'm sure he'll play. The Rams seem healthy. Stafford, Aaron Donald, the cornerback. Little, though the defensive players should be there, put plenty of pressure on. And I think the Rams are fine injury-wise. Philly, Smith's playing, Hurts playing, as far as I can tell. Oakland, their key players are playing. They got rid of Gruden, which was a plus. So I think I don't see any major injuries there. The Bears, Dalton's healthy. I don't know why he's not. The worst thing that can happen to Tampa is you injure Fields and you get Dalton again. Dalton should be the starter. This is a travesty. What was Chicago last week? Yeah, they lost 24-14. Again, they only scored 14 on the Packers with Fields. I don't see them scoring more than that with Fields. It's hard to bet under in a Tampa Bay game, but this, with Chicago, it's hard to bet over in that game, so it's a neutral. I think just Gronk's out for Tampa. Again, Godwin's questionable, but he seems to be playing. Antonio Brown's questionable. So a lot of the superstars are questionable, Gronk and Brown. Running back's fine. Again, Brady, as long as Brady's healthy, that's all we care about. He could throw to people he could pull people out of the stands and say, here, you line up and I'm going to throw it to you. That's how good Brady is. Houston, obviously their quarterback's out. Taylor, they don't have anybody you're going to notice in the injury. And I think Arizona seems healthy. Indy's getting healthier. Wentz is playing, and they got T.Y. Hilton back, which is huge. Frisco, Garoppolo looks like he's going to start. Lance, one game, he hurt his knee, he's gone. Indy, Frisco's got a lot of injuries. Indy's getting healthier. And New Orleans, Winston's playing. Taysom Hill's a little banged up. Nothing else major. The Thomas, the great receiver, has been hurt. So it's not like who knows when he's coming back, but that's every week. Obviously, Seattle, Russell Wilson, and the running backs are out. They can't have a running back. Every running back for the last 3 or 4 years has been injured since they lost the Big Bull. I can't think of his name right now, but the key is Russell Wilson. With him out, it's got to be an under. They've got to be running the ball, and that neutralizes Metcalf, the strength. So that's about the injuries. So basically, I think you got the gist of the picks. I could lock a couple of games in here. Again, I have 4 locks going in college Saturday. Beautiful games. If you listen to my college, there was so many games in college. It was unbelievable. But you've got to realize if the game is worth playing, I'm betting it. If it's not, I'm not. I'm not going to play Arizona-Houston. It's not worth betting. There's too many points. But damn sure I'm going to bet Green Bay, and I'm going to bet Baltimore, And in college, I'm going to take Ohio State and Cincinnati. If it's a good game, the reason there's so many games I have in college, because there's so many conferences. And what I'm looking at is the AZ teams in each conference and the Z teams in each conference. And now that's conference play. So when I got an A playing a Z, I got Cincinnati Navy, there's a play. I got Ohio State playing whoever, there's a play. So anytime I've got A teams playing weaker teams, now Cincinnati needs the game for the playoff. Ohio State. I did look. Oklahoma is undefeated. Alabama has the loss, and Clemson lost to North Carolina State. They have 2 losses, so they're out, which makes this game huge for Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh wins, they could get into the playoffs. I believe they're undefeated, and they have beat Clemson, and there was another good team when they beat Tennessee. And so if Clemson, they need the game to win their thing, but they're not going to the playoffs with 2 losses. It's just not a good team, but it's a great defensive team. Pitt, I don't know if they can beat Clemson. Although if they are going to beat Clemson, it'll be this game. They're laying 3. It's hard to take Clemson in 9. I took it under 48 to go under 54. Good luck scoring more than 20 on Clemson, and good luck Clemson scoring 20 on anybody. But that's what I'm looking at. So now who needs the playoff? So you got Georgia, Cincinnati 1-2, and now it's between Alabama, Oklahoma State, and nobody really in the Pac-10. You got Ohio State, could be Michigan or Michigan State if they beat whoever wins next week's Michigan State. If they beat Ohio State, they're in the freaking playoff. And then you got the ACC. Really, the only team that can make it is Pitt has to beat Clemson and then win the thing, and Pitt can make the playoff. But as you can see, you got more than 4 teams. So the top 4 are Georgia, Cincinnati, I'm going to say Alabama, and then I'm going to say Ohio State is better than Oklahoma. So those are the 4. Clemson's gone, and then Oklahoma's got to battle Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, to me, is – great defensive team. They'll give Oklahoma all they want, like Georgia's going to give Alabama all they want. So when they meet in the conference championship game, please make Georgia the dog, although I don't think they will be. But I don't think I've ever bet Alabama as the dog in years and years and years. They're never the dog. My guess would be the line would be probably Alabama laying 3 to Georgia, maybe Georgia laying 3, over under of hopefully in the 50s. I'll just bet my house on the under in the game. That's Georgia's the best team. Cincinnati's right up there with them. They need a little more dominance on defense. The Georgia defense is just unbelievable. But Georgia's offense with this quarterback he's better than JT Daniels. I can't think of his name. I don't know. There's too many names I try to think of in the middle of my thoughts. So that's what you're looking at. So that's why I have a lot of college plays, because you got 6 or 7 plays just on teams needing the game for the bowls. Cincinnati Navy, maybe I don't play, but they need it for the playoff. They're not losing the Navy. That's a bet. Ohio State, they're not going to lose. Who do they got? Ohio State. Week 8, Ohio State. Who do you got, Ohio State? Indiana. They're not losing to Indiana. Penix probably isn't even playing, and Ohio State's just going to score and score and score and score. So really that's what you have. So it's a really, that's why there's so many. In the pros, you try to look for teams with their backs against the wall, but if it's a good play, New England's beating the Jets 10 times in a row. The Jets are a terrible road dog, and I'm only laying 7. I got everything I want. That's going to be a play. Now, if there's 5 of those plays, I'm playing 5 games. That's how it is. So if it meets my scope where, and doing it for so long, so many years, I've seen it all before. I've seen the Steelers in the 70s, and whenever they laid 7 against anybody, they'd go to Houston and Earl Campbell. They laid 7. I'd cut them to 1. Those were automatic plays. All the way Montana, and he laid 7, and I'd cut it to 1 100% of the time. So if you have 5 or 6 of those plays in the same week, that's why you're playing a lot. That's the whole object. I don't play by numbers. I've had people tell me, well, I'm trying to do a mathematical formula or these stupid algorithms. Forget it. It doesn't work. There's too many variables. How do you function in Kansas City with their backs against the wall last week because they lost to Buffalo in a system? You can't. You have to feel it. This is all art, right? What I'm doing here, more so than just looking at numbers. Oh yes, I look at numbers. New England's won the last 10 against the Jets. The Jets are a red road dog, but I'm looking at everything. How's Jones doing? How's Wilson doing? How's the coaching? So I'm looking at about 20 variables to make my pick. And if you meet all the variables, that's what I'm playing. So again, that's why I have a lot, but that's how I'm successful. And I've been doing that way for years. Any questions or comments from anybody, please let me know. Otherwise, I think I've given you a plethora of knowledge in this class today. Just let me know if you have questions. Again, www.teaserking.com. My email is there. Please feel free to email me. Again, 4 locks in college going, and I could easily have 1 lock in the pros. I go, or I probably have the lock with some pro games in college, but I could honestly have 6 college locks. I stopped at 4. It was like, okay, these are just too good to pass up. So anyway, it should be a big weekend. Love the pro games. Love the college. Yeah, this should be an excellent weekend. Now the knowledge is there. I know the team. I'm not misjudging a team like Buffalo where they were really good last year. Now they're not as good this year. I'm talking college Buffalo or Nebraska. Now it's Ohio State, Cincinnati, Alabama. It's the meat and potatoes. They need them for the bowls and the playoffs and everything else. So pros, I pretty much Mac Jones, I know, and I can see how the Rams are doing with Stafford. So now you have enough data to now make better assumptions and who I can trust and who I can't. It's all a trust factor. All right, my friends, my family, the professor signing off. www.teaserking.com, 4 locks this weekend. Please feel free. Go to the site. Please feel free to email and ask questions on games that I haven't covered, which I think I've covered every freaking pro game and most of the college and most of the totals. So you should have all your questions answered. Okay, everybody, have a great weekend. I will be on Saturday about 11 o'clock just to touch base on injuries and line movements and any late breaking stuff that happens in college, and the same thing with the pros. Okay, thank you for watching, and I appreciate you, and I'm very happy to help you.